Just got word that the feds dropped some relief packages into Archer Square. The liars running the corporate media tell us that we're going to get our fair share, that more is coming. Yeah, that's easy for them to say. They're not the ones living in this hellhole. And the truth is that we've been abandoned, and no one's coming to save us. So head over to Archer Square and get that food before the Reapers show up. Voice of Survival, out.
Take a look at this, Empire City. The footage you're seeing was taken by a security camera near Ground Zero. This is the man that destroyed our city, our lives. Someone from your family died? Well, now you know who to blame. If you know anything about this guy, let me know, because we gotta get the word out on this terrorist. Whoever he is, we're gonna make him pay.
In case you haven't heard, there is a massacre at Stampton Bridge. Hundreds of innocent civilians gunned down by jackbooted cops and CDC thugs. People who wanted nothing more than some food and medicine, murdered in cold blood. This is how our government treats its citizens, how they respond to a national tragedy with violence and brute force. And in the center of it all, the terrorist. The trail of bodies left in his wake keeps getting longer and longer. You see this, Empire City? It's the terrorist shooting electricity out of his hands. First he blows up the city, and now he can electrocute anyone that gets in his way? And no, this is not a hoax. This guy is the real deal. If you see him, steer clear. It's getting cold out there, especially at night. Do what it takes to stay warm. Cut down trees, strip the wood off buildings, collect paper, scavenge furniture. If it produces heat, burn it. The old rules don't exist. Not anymore. Voice of Survival, out. Just got back from Ground Zero, and a lot of kids over there freezing their asses off. If you got something to spare, take it over there. Those kids need it more than you do. And just because you haven't got any kids' clothes doesn't get you off the hook. Give whatever you got. A kid that's cold and scared doesn't care if his clothes fit or not. He just wants to be warm. Just came back from Pier 19. It looks like the feds are tightening the screws. I counted at least 5 ships dropping mines in the harbor and 2 more blocking the harbor entrance with scrap metal. We're not going anywhere, folks. Might as well do whatever you can to get comfortable. Voice of Survival, out. Rumors keep coming in that the terrorists freed a bunch of folks the Reapers had locked up. Listen, there's no doubt those people were saved, but it burns my ass to see the terrorists taking credit for it. Here's the truth. The people trapped on the L were rescued by a group of concerned citizens. Citizens have decided they weren't going to put up with this crap any longer, that it was time to fight back. They're the real heroes, not some psycho that blew up half the city. Remember that. Man, this crap keeps getting better and better. First light bulb man blew most of our city back to the Stone Age, and now he's running around destroying water towers. Yeah, you heard me right. He's hell-bent on cutting off our supply of fresh water. And I know some of you think this lunatic's a hero, but take it from me, he's not. I've seen him in action. He trashes cars for the hell of it and fries innocent people when they get in his way. Does that sound like a hero to you? I'm out. Remember when the feds first locked us in here? They said a plague was running rampant, threatening to spread all over the East Coast, killing millions. We had to take one for the team, they said, for the good of the country. Well, it seems to me that the plague didn't start until after the quarantine. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What did they know, and when did they know it? Don't believe anything they say, Empire City. I just watched the light bulb man take a stroll down into the Reaper Tunnel. Now, why would he go down there? I'll tell you why, because he's one of them. He's the reason they've been able to spread their terror all across our city. We stop him, we stop the Reapers. Simple as that. I know some of you love the idea of a superhero running around out there, fighting for truth and justice and all of that, but it simply isn't true. Lightbulb Man cares about one thing and one thing only, himself. So let's stop with the high fives that have been thrown his way since the Roosevelt Bridge reopened, because Light Socket had nothing to do with it. 2 engineers named Roger Miller and Lou Berman are the ones that got the bridge open. You want to thank someone, you thank them. They're the real heroes. The streets are getting crazy out there, people. I just saw a pack of these metal crab things take down 3 cops, sliced them to pieces and left them to die. The crab thing's traveling packed. If you see them coming, run like hell. Voice of Survival, out. I got big news tonight. I finally learned the identity of the terrorist. That's right, I know the name of the man who destroyed our city and sentenced us to life in this hell. This is Cole McGrath. terrorist, light bulb man, grade A certified douchebag. If you see him running around, do whatever it takes to bring him down. It's time for his reign of terror to end. Take a look around Empire City. Who's still here fighting like crazy to survive? It's not the rich, I can tell you that. Not anyone in a position of power, nope. They all bailed before the quarantine was dropped on us. You think anyone on the outside gives a rip what happens in here? Well, think again. Looks like Alden, leader of the so-called dustmen, is back on the streets. I know what you're thinking. Wasn't he locked up in prison? Well, it turns out Light Socket wanted to spice things up with a good old-fashioned jailbreak. A whole lot of cops got killed when it went down. But Cole doesn't give two rips. Why should he? None of this matters to him. You get a shot at Cole, you take it. Man, this is too much. I just got a call from some FEMA paper pusher telling me I need to stop my broadcasts because I'm inciting panic and stoking anger. Said I could be tried for treason. Treason? Wow. They lock us up in here, piss all over our constitutional rights, and I'm the traitor? The audacity of these idiots is mind-boggling. If they want me shut down, they're gonna have to come in and drag me out of here. Until that happens, I'm staying put. Got more information on Lightbulb Man. Before the blast, he had a police record a mile long. Carjacking, assault and battery, armed robbery, you name it. Naturally, his mommy and daddy greased some palms so none of the charges stuck. But that was then, and this is now. We have our own system of justice, our own set of rules. And mommy and daddy aren't here to save you, poor little Cole. I assume you all saw the partial collapse of the Dustmen Tower. Good old Cole went up there, and a little while later, part of it comes tumbling down, and more innocent lives are lost. Add him to his tab, Empire City. It's way past time for us to collect. Just heard that 4 people trying to sneak out of town through the sewers were blown to bits by a landmine. Only 1 person made it back, and he said that the mines were hid under debris, that there were tripwires all over the place. They had no idea what they were walking into. That's murder, people, plain and simple. The government is murdering its citizens. Something big is coming, Empire City. Getting crazy reports of people being yanked off the streets, the whole 9 yards. Keep your heads down and do whatever it takes to survive. If something is happening, the only way we're gonna survive is by getting so low that it ignores us. Stay safe. Voice of Survival out. Listen to me carefully, Empire City. Someone's going around murdering the remaining cops. But what scares me is that it's not Cole, it's someone big, someone with real power. There's a first stage in their mop-up process. First, they'll get rid of all the authority figures, and then they'll start picking off the little folks. People like you and me that might have seen something we shouldn't have. The storm is here, so batten down the hatches. Broadcasting live. More information's coming in on the damn CDC thugs and the jackbooted fascists. It's only a matter of time before they... Hey! Stay away from me! I did what you... What are you doing? Stay away from what you said, I told it! Stay away from... I did what you said, I told it! This is a message for you morons running FEMA. If you want to hijack my signal, you're going to have to try harder than that. You think I'm an idiot? I got a million ways to send my broadcasts. And in the meantime, keep pumping out your USTV crap. It's just more evidence that this country is being run by a pack of idiots.
Shocking news tonight of a callous and unprovoked attack by terrorists seeking to break through the quarantine and cross Stampton Bridge. Their goal was simple: spread the plague to the mainland. It was only because of the efforts of the heroic men and women of the CDC that this vicious attack was repelled, thus preserving the quarantine. USTV has learned that as a result of this event, the CDC will be positioning additional forces along the quarantine lines and increasing the number of both boat and air patrols. Citizens are encouraged to cooperate with CDC soldiers. Large-scale relief efforts across Empire City continued as FEMA delivered several tons of food, medicine, and other essential supplies into Archer Square. Officials tell USTV that relief efforts will continue around the clock for the foreseeable future. Some observers are already comparing the scale of this operation to the Berlin airlift, which saved that city from communist aggression. Hope is on the way, Empire City. Electricity was restored to large sections of Empire City today as the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers worked around the clock, repairing damaged transformers and substations. Thankful citizens took to the streets in celebration as life continues to return to normal. Officials estimate that power should be returned to the entire city within the next 3 to 4 days. USTV will keep you updated on their progress. News today of a daring raid that freed several hundred prisoners from the clutches of the Reaper Street Gang. A small group of commandos dropped into Empire City and stormed a train that the Reapers were using as a makeshift prison. After a brief firefight, the prisoners were freed and the remaining Reaper gang members were taken into custody. This is but the latest step in the government's aggressive effort to restore order in Empire City. More medical supplies were recently dropped into Empire City, along with teams of highly trained personnel. Within moments of landing, aid stations began appearing on the streets of Empire City, offering a complete range of medical treatment to anyone needing assistance. In addition, the president has offered his assurances that he is closely monitoring the situation and will take whatever measures are necessary to get Empire City back on its feet. The latest CBB poll reveals unprecedented support for the federal government's response to the tragedy in Empire City. A full 94% of the American public believe that the quarantine averted a major health-related disaster, and 81% believe that life in Empire City has largely returned to normal. The president quickly used the poll numbers to validate his administration's policies, saying that the people living in Empire City should be confident that the federal government has the situation well in hand. The president and his cabinet made a surprise visit to the Empire City quarantine line today, as the president showcased his administration's latest efforts in restoring Empire City. During his tour, the president announced that several no-bid reconstruction contracts have been awarded to some of the country's largest firms. These contracts herald the start of a bright new future for Empire City. Sad news tonight as the CDC announced that its latest attempt to cure the Empire City plague has suffered a setback. Because of the difficulty in synthesizing large quantities of the cure, it appears that the quarantine of Empire City will continue for some time. As rumors continue to swirl regarding the appearance of superpowered individuals within Empire City, officials from the Pentagon, CDC, and FEMA today held a joint news conference in an effort to put the rumors to rest once and for all. It's ridiculous. No one possesses extraordinary abilities, said General Thomas Franklin at the news conference. The very idea stretches the boundaries of rational thought. This is nothing more than a lie that's been propagated by fringe elements of our society. Much to the amusement of the assembled press corps, the general concluded by saying that if superpowers were real, he wouldn't spend 2 hours a day driving to and from work. He'd simply give himself the ability to fly and eliminate his commute. Fresh evidence today that the Empire City plague was, in fact, the work of a terrorist organization. The CDC has confirmed that the genetic markers in the plague were artificially created and have been traced back to a lab in Central America. When asked about the possibility of a military response, the CDC had no comment. However, they did say that the government believes that a terrorist sympathizer may be operating within Empire City, illegally broadcasting anti-government propaganda. Several of the nation's top celebrities today visited the quarantine line and spent several hours entertaining the troops positioned along the outskirts of Empire City. To quote pop star Sunshine Wilson, "It's important that we keep up the morale of the brave men and women protecting Empire City. The sacrifices they're making are huge. I'm honored to be here." The USO confirms that additional visits are scheduled over the course of the next 2 weeks. A major blow against the forces of tyranny was struck today as heroic soldiers attacked and destroyed a terrorist-related broadcast facility operating within Empire City. Acting on a tip from a concerned citizen, the soldiers not only destroyed the terrorist broadcasting equipment, they also uncovered evidence that a major terrorist attack was in the final planning stages. Had this attack been carried out, it would have resulted in catastrophic loss of life. I think I speak for all Americans when I extend my heartfelt thanks to the brave forces waging an endless war against this country's foes. After weeks of around-the-clock research, the CDC just announced that it has developed a cure for the Empire City plague. Side effects are said to be quite mild, and the vaccine has a 99% success rate. Officials went on to say the distribution of the cure, administered by a single shot, will begin tomorrow. The hope is that the quarantine will be lifted within 1 to 2 weeks. An event that could include a memorial ceremony on Stampton Bridge.